Explosive twist. Wang caught defending Shen Yue against his mother's outrage. The entertainment world is no stranger to drama, but what unfolded behind closed doors last night has set social media ablaze in a way no one saw coming. What was supposed to be a quiet dinner between Wang, Shen Yue, and Dylan's family spiraled into an emotional battlefield, a confrontation that tested love, loyalty, and the fragile balance between a son's devotion to his mother and his undeniable feelings for Shen Yue. And yes, it was Dylan's mother at the very center of the storm. The dinner that turned into a war zone. At first, everything seemed normal. Eyewitnesses confirmed that Wang and Shen Yue arrived hand in hand at an upscale private dining hall in Beijing. Shen Yue, dressed elegantly in a simple pastel dress, radiated grace and calm, while Dylan appeared protective, his hand never leaving hers. But behind the golden glow of chandeliers and the clinking of wine glasses, tension brewed. Dylan's mother, who has long been rumored to disapprove of Shen Yue, wasted no time in making her stance clear. Her words, though whispered at first, soon spilled across the table like poison. Dylan, a star of your caliber should not be wasting his time with someone like her. She will only drag you down. Shen Yue's face reportedly stiffened, her eyes glistening with hurt she tried desperately to hide. But Dylan, he didn't stay silent. Dylan's explosive defense. Witnesses described the scene as one they will never forget. Dylan, usually calm in public, slammed his hand against the polished table, the sound echoing through the hall like thunder. Enough, Mom. You don't know her like I do. Shen Yue is not a burden, she's the best thing that has ever happened to me. Gasps filled the room. Even Shen Yue seemed taken aback, her lips parting as tears welled in her eyes. For the first time, Dylan openly defied his mother, not in whispers or behind the curtain of secrecy, but boldly, in front of everyone present. The tension in that moment was so sharp it could cut glass. Shen Yue's silent struggle. While Dylan stood his ground, Shen Yue's struggle was no less powerful. She tried to interject, her soft voice pleading. Please don't fight because of me. I don't want to be the reason. But Dylan cut her off, raising his voice higher. You are not the reason. You are the reason I'm strong enough to stand here today. Don't ever think otherwise. The room fell into a stunned silence. His mother's face, once stern, turned red with both fury and disbelief. Shen Yue's hands trembled under the table, clutching the napkin in her lap until it nearly tore. The clash of love and blood. The argument didn't stop there. Dylan's mother leaned closer, her voice sharp with anger. Do you think your career, your reputation, will survive being tied to her? She will ruin you, Dylan. Mark my words. And here came the most explosive twist of the night. Dylan, instead of faltering, rose to his feet. His voice shook, not with fear, but with conviction. Then let it be ruined. If my love for Shen Yue destroys everything I've built, so be it. Because without her, none of it means anything. The declaration was nothing short of revolutionary. In a society where family approval is everything, Dylan had just chosen Shen Yue over his mother's expectations, and by extension, over everything he stood to lose. The aftermath, tears, cameras, and secrets. What no one expected was that someone in the restaurant had been recording. Within hours, a short clip of Dylan defending Shen Yue against his mother's fury leaked online. The video spread like wildfire, sparking chaos across the internet. Fans divided instantly. Some praised Dylan's bravery. This is true love. He stood up for her even against his own blood. Respect. Shen Yue must mean the world to him. No man would risk it all like this unless it was real. Others, however, criticized him. How dare he disrespect his mother like that in public? This will only destroy his image. Career suicide. But perhaps the most heartbreaking reaction came from Shen Yue herself. After leaving the restaurant, she was seen wiping away tears in the car, her face hidden behind her hands as Dylan comforted her. The emotional breakdown. Sources close to the couple revealed that once they were alone, Shen Yue broke down completely. She reportedly sobbed into Dylan's chest, whispering, I don't want you to lose everything because of me. I'm not worth it. To which Dylan replied, holding her tighter than ever. You're worth more than everything. Don't you see? Without you, none of this matters. I'd rather lose the world than lose you. The moment, though private, paints a picture of a love so fierce, so unyielding, that it challenges even the most sacred ties of family. A mother's silence. As for Dylan's mother, since the incident, she has remained silent. No statements, no appearances, no interviews. Insiders suggest she may be rethinking her stance, shaken by Dylan's unwavering commitment to Shen Yue. But whether this silence signals surrender or a brewing storm, no one knows. What this means for their future. The incident has thrown Dylan and Shen Yue's relationship into the spotlight like never before. This isn't just another celebrity romance, it's a battle between love and tradition, between the heart and the family name. And while many fear this could mark the beginning of Dylan's downfall, others believe it's the very thing that will cement his legacy, not just as an actor, but as a man who dared to love against all odds. The world reacts. As dawn broke, hashtags dominated the internet. Hashtag Dylan defends Shen Yue. Hashtag true love or rebellion. Hashtag explosive dinner showdown. Fans flooded Shen Yue's social media with messages of support, while Dylan's fan base seemed torn down the middle. One fan tweeted, "If this is what love looks like, then maybe it's worth fighting for even against your own family." Another posted, "No career, no fame. No fans will matter if he loses the woman who makes him whole. Dylan Wang, you have my respect." The final scene, a promise under the stars. Late into the night, photographers caught one last glimpse of the couple. Dylan and Shen Yue stood outside his car, the streetlights casting a soft glow around them. He brushed her tears away and kissed her forehead gently. And though no one could hear, lip readers claim Dylan whispered, "I will never let anyone take you away from me. Not even my mother." It was a promise, one that may come at a devastating cost, but one that left fans in awe of just how deep his love runs. The night had begun with glittering chandeliers and delicate laughter, but what unfolded at Dylan Wang's family dinner has left the entire entertainment world reeling. What was supposed to be a warm introduction between Dylan's mother and Shen Yue turned into an emotional showdown that no one present will ever forget. A dinner of tension. The private dining hall was elegant, crystal glasses lined up neatly, soft music humming from a hidden corner, and golden light bouncing off the polished walls. But despite the glamorous setting, the air felt stiff, like walking into a storm moments before the thunder. Shen Yue sat quietly beside Dylan, her smile polite but nervous. Every gesture of hers, lifting her chopsticks, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear, was careful, almost rehearsed. She wanted so desperately to impress, but the coldness in Dylan's mother's eyes was impossible to ignore. From the very start, Mrs. Wang's disapproval leaked through every word. "So, Shen Yue," she said in a clipped tone, her eyes scanning her like a hawk, "I hear you're still struggling with scripts and roles." Hardly the kind of stability someone like Dylan should attach himself to. The statement was delivered like a dagger, wrapped in silk. The table fell silent. Shen Yue's cheeks flushed pink, but she forced a smile. "I'm still working hard, ma'am. Every step in this industry is difficult, but I believe passion is worth the struggle." Her voice was steady, but her hands under the table twisted nervously in her lap. Dylan's breaking point. For a while, Dylan tried to keep the peace, squeezing Shen Yue's hand under the table, giving her silent reassurances. But as the comments grew sharper, his composure cracked. When Mrs. Wang leaned forward, her voice low but venomous, "My son deserves someone who will elevate him, not hold him back." That was the moment Dylan snapped. He slammed his hand against the table, the plates rattling, wine glasses nearly toppling. The sudden noise made everyone in the room jump. "Enough, Mom," he barked, his voice reverberating against the ornate walls. "You don't know her like I do. Shen Yue is not a weight holding me down, she's the reason I'm standing here today." Gasps rippled across the table. Even Shen Yue froze, her eyes wide, her lips trembling as she turned to look at him. The clash. Mrs. Wang straightened in her seat, her expression twisting into fury. "How dare you raise your voice to me?" In front of her. Her hand trembled slightly as she set her chopsticks down. The room, once filled with clinks of silverware, was now heavy with silence. But Dylan didn't back down. His face was red, his jaw clenched, but his eyes burned with determination. "How dare you belittle her in front of me?" he shot back. "Do you think I've come this far in life because of fame and fortune alone? She's the one who kept me grounded when I wanted to give up. She's the one who made me believe I was more than just a name on a screen." Every word was like a strike of lightning. Guests shifted uncomfortably in their seats, unsure whether to intervene or let the storm rage. Shen Yue's tears. Shen Yue, unable to contain it anymore, lowered her gaze. Her vision blurred as tears pooled in her eyes. She whispered softly, her voice cracking. "Please, don't fight because of me. I never wanted to cause trouble." Her hands trembled, clutching her napkin so tightly the fabric nearly tore apart. She looked ready to crumble, to disappear into the shadows just to stop the chaos. But Dylan reached for her hand, lifting it onto the table for everyone to see. His grip was firm, unshakable. "You are not the cause of this. You are the reason I can face it." The room seemed to hold its breath. A son's ultimatum. Mrs. Wang's face darkened, her voice rising now in outrage. "You're blinded, Dylan. Blinded by foolish infatuation. This girl will ruin you, your career, your reputation, everything we've built." Her words struck hard, but Dylan's response struck harder. He rose from his chair, towering over the table, his voice booming with conviction. "Then let it all be ruined. If loving her means losing everything, then I'll lose it gladly. Because none of it matters without her." It was not just defiance, it was a declaration. A man's decision to put love above legacy, the heart above the world's judgment. The collapse of silence. For a long, agonizing moment, no one spoke. Even the clinking of glasses in the far-off restaurant kitchen seemed to vanish. All eyes darted between mother and son, waiting to see who would shatter first. Mrs. Wang's lips pressed into a thin line, her hands tightening around her lap. Her eyes, usually sharp and commanding, now glistened with something unfamiliar. Was it anger? Or was it fear of losing her son to a love she couldn't control? Meanwhile, Shen Yue silently cried beside Dylan, trying to steady her breaths. He pulled her closer, his arm wrapping around her shoulder in full view of everyone, a bold sign that he was unashamed. The leak. Unbeknownst to them, a discreet guest at the dinner had been recording the fiery exchange. Within hours, the video found its way online. Clips of Dylan's voice roaring, "Then let it all be ruined," looped endlessly across social media. Fans were left stunned, divided, unable to decide whether to cheer his bravery or mourn his recklessness. After the war. When the dinner ended, it wasn't with laughter or toasts. It ended with heavy footsteps, strained silence, and the lingering echo of Dylan's words. Outside, as the cool night air brushed their faces, Shen Yue broke down. She buried her face against Dylan's chest, sobbing uncontrollably. "I'm not worth all this pain. I don't want to come between you and your family." But Dylan held her tighter, his lips pressing against her forehead. "You're worth everything, you. Everything. I'll fight 1,000 wars if it means keeping you by my side."